G'day everyone, it's Graham McDonald here and we've got the Martial Arts Business Success Podcast. We're at episode number 80 and I've got Phil Britton joining me.
Absolutely, always.
Well, we've got a pretty great episode this time. We're actually going to go back a little bit of some of the topics that we talked about on previous podcasts and dive in a little deeper. And this is one that, to be honest with you, is probably a couple of those key factors that you do in any business. It's to do with sales and getting those conversions, or again, getting the students to see the benefit of being at your school. So we talked about in a previous podcast about a foolproof sales system, but as the world grows and changes, so does the systems you need to have, or at least not necessarily change the whole lot, just refine and tweak. So Phil, what has changed from a customer or client perspective as their buying habits over the last 5 years to 3 to 2 to 1 to what's happening this year?
I guess it all depends on the demographic as well, and your location, which is important. So I think identifying who your client is, what area you're in, is really going to determine your sales process or your price point. Mm-hmm. How you then sell is going to, again, be dictated to the environment. So, I think in this day and age, the world that we live in, people want to feel, touch, hear you a lot more than what it used to be. Like old sales, you could just have them walk in, test out your school, jump in. Now people are quite picky on price, or I guess more safeguarded on where they spend their money. More so in, again, as I said, depending on which area they live in, what demo they are and all that sort of stuff. But people really want to get to know, like, and trust you a lot more before they actually make that buying decision. And that's why it's important that even before the sales process kicks off, the sales and marketing process should be really, really aligned. Yeah. There should be no disjointed processes. They shouldn't be saying one thing and doing another. The sales and marketing process is almost entwined into each other so that you are building trust right from the beginning, whether it's online, email lists, whether it's out in the community, and then all the way through to actually joining up. There's massive rapport building, massive time spent on building relationships. We do that because we charge a high premium cost for our services. Some schools may charge a lot less, so they don't have to go all out and roll out the red carpet.
Guys, look, we will dive in and give you a little bit of an explanation on how we walk through it. I guess some of the questions that have come to us was about all these new marketing systems. Now, prior to even getting to the sales process, how do you get these leads? And that they're certainly coming through the door, but some of these now are starting to be unqualified leads, or you're finding that you're getting a lot more tire kickers. And what that means is people who are price hunting with the safety and security of Facebook or email, or again, any sort of through your website inquiry, stuff like that. How do we vet, how do we get over that barrier there, Phil? I know we've got a couple of strategies that when our guys have spent 3 to 4, 5 times trying to respond and email back, and the person has legitimately said, I want to do martial arts, tell me a bit about it, they tell them, and then you never hear from them again. How do we also get over that sort of speed hump or that roadblock there?
I guess, you've got to look at your funnel. Really, you, as I said, the sales process is a complete process from marketing, from the first touch point all the way till when they become a member. And even when they're a member, you continue selling to them. You know what I mean? You just want your clients to keep buying stock and renewing their fees and all that sort of stuff. So the sales process continues throughout their lifespan. I think what you're trying to get at, if I'm right, is that no matter where or how someone comes through the process, if they do drop off, does that mean that we don't sell to them anymore? Like, what do we do with them then? If we've lost contact, we've tried to call them, it's been 5 times, it's now 3-4 months gone. What do we do with them? Do we just hang them up on the hook and forget about them? Well, the answer is no. You've got to make sure in the world we live in, and I guess the resources that we have with email marketing, is that you go onto a email autoresponder where they then are being sold to in a different way. So you sell to them in one way in your marketing process. It's really to get them interested. You sell them in the sales process to get them over the line. If that doesn't happen, then you're going to sell them in a different manner in an email autoresponder. If what you said and did not get them across the line, how can we just keep adding value, then maybe 6 months, 12 months, 2 years down the track, they then might come back. And the same goes for people who have become a member and then leave for whatever reason, they then go on a non-members email list, and they are sold to or educated or updated on a consistent basis, so that if circumstances change, they're ready to come jump back in.
Hey, look, wise words there. Something, and this is a tip. This is a tip that you can actually apply and do straight away. Something our guys do when they get an initial email and they've responded. They haven't gone into our autoresponder list yet, but they've just tried their hardest. Often the person behind that computer screen doesn't know who you are. So what we get our guys to do is pick up their phone, often a staff phone like an iPhone with a camera and whatnot, and do a short 20-second video just explaining, hey, I'm Graham, you inquired, this is who I am, I'd love to see you come down to the school, and send that to them via their MMS. So if it's a text sort of message that goes through, or embed that and send it through the email. Because what they do is then they see a face behind that name, and a lot of the time then you go, wow, okay, you've got that little bit of rapport. And the same token too, I know we do a lot of videos that we send out to these email lists. So the guys who haven't seen us for a while, we'll send a short video saying, hey guys, we miss you, this is what we got going on. Rather than just having a written text, of course that's there, we also have a video as well too for those who resonate and respond with that. So it's a really easy way of taking 2 seconds out of your process to maybe get over that roadblock and get you that higher conversion when it comes to emails and whatnot. But what else is working for us in our sales growth? How to talk us through, we've got the person now, they've committed, they've made their appointment time. What do we do to help build that rapport and really kind of get them invigorated about our school and our sort of systems?
Something that comes to my mind, I know it's a new process, and we talk about sales systems and what's new and what's working for us, is that we did find that there's, as always, doesn't matter what business you're in, but specifically martial arts, there's going to be a drop off at different areas. And there's either going to be a drop off in your introductory process, a drop off in their trial area, or there's the cancellations and stuff like that. So what we tried to do on Combat for 2017, which is quite an interesting process, we're still in it, so we don't know how well it's working, but it seems to be working quite well, is we have a greeter. So, if somebody has booked in to come to their appointment, specifically come into their class, their first class, so it's quite overwhelming. Someone comes into your school, they meet the program director or the salesperson, and they get real one-on-one service, and they come back to do a class and it's like, whoa, this is really overwhelming. Like, they get a little bit lost. So what we done in 2017 is included a greeter. So we have someone during that sort of sales class, the beginner class, meet and greet. Like, they're literally out the front door, they've got a clipboard, knows how many people and who's coming in, and they're basically going, hey John, how are you? Awesome, you're here for your first class, well done. My name is Shehan Phil Britton, welcome to your first class. Let me just take you down to where the class is waiting. And it's just that, whoa, it's that wow factor to have this greeter. Like, it's that red carpet service we talk about. We charge a lot, you're going to get a lot of value, you're going to get a lot of service. And that greeter is really to make sure that the parent and the child, or the student if it's an adult, has just a really amazing experience from when they walk into our school to their first class, during their class, and as they leave as well. It's like an usher, having your own personal assistant.
I couldn't agree more. And I know there's going to be a couple of our viewers and listeners going, well, my school's small, so I do that anyway. Well, of course. But as you grow, we still want to make sure that we make that connection and that sort of family feel to everybody. And as a large school that has, near on 900 members, we don't want people to walk in and get lost, which is why we have people there designed especially to make sure we welcome them and they feel like they are number one. So that really helps to build that rapport and helps them come back. I know that there's plenty of things when it comes to the sales sort of systems and the process. I know some of you guys do group intros, just do, one-on-one intros, things like that. What we do is we position ourselves again as a high-end martial arts school. Therefore, we need to make sure that we treat everybody as flying first class. And therefore, we do our intros either as a family. In other words, if there's 2 or 3 or 4, yes, great. But we don't often pile other families into that same one. So we don't do group intros. I'm not saying that they don't work. But when you look at the price bracket and you start to charge a premium, you may find that you need to position yourself and make sure you've got someone dedicated to obviously assist and help and meet the needs of that person and really kind of help to show them the benefit. Now, I guess, Phil, we've got a big thing when we talk to our team, and we label it the sales team to a point, but we really don't sell to people, do we?
No.
We obviously assist and help the guys at the end of the day, they've got to decide to buy. We just show them the benefits of what we're doing. If they're the right fit, they'll choose our school. If we're not the right fit or it's not something that aligns with their values, they'll probably move on. We do everything we can to sort of make sure that doesn't occur, but that's the way it goes. Now, what about the stats? I guess the stats on the conversions nowadays, and I'm talking a lot about comparing 5 years ago, 2 years ago to what is now modern, and the numbers that we're getting through the door, but also the conversion rates that go with it.
So I just want to give that extra tip before we go to stats, because you're the numbers man, Graham. Before I lose it in my mind, another great strategy, because we are a high-end martial arts school, and there's all that whole thing, do you give the price up front, or do you wait until you've built value and do it at the end? This is a strategy that's worked really, really well for us. And we got, I guess, the idea a while ago, but our fee structure is very... if you've been online and you see any of those sort of Optus or phone companies or online type sales pages where they've got the options, they've got sort of, let's just say, basic, intermediate and advanced costs, bronze, gold, silver, platinum, whatever it may be. And there's always one that's highlighted a little bit more. And it's not the high end and it's not the low one, it's in the middle. It's what they recommend. And because they've recommended the one in the middle, you sort of get funneled into that being the right choice for you. It's no tricks or anything like that. It's just a better way to guide your client into what you want to buy. So when we have the client coming into our school, we go, look, we're a high-end school. This is what we do. Blah blah blah. Educate. When it comes to our fees, we do have a fair range of different options. We have fees that start from here, low end, all the way to the highest point. So right now they're running their buying strategy. They're going, geez, that's cheap. Geez, that's expensive. Where am I?
Yeah.
But then we'll talk about that more later. The most important thing is we're going to go on a tour and check out the skills and see where you're at. So now they're running this buying strategy throughout the introductory lesson. They're going, geez, where am I? I hope I'm not at the top. I hope I'm at the bottom. And throughout the introductory lesson, we go through amazing value, etc., etc. And then we sit down, go, look, after consideration with the skills we did, where you're at, your age, all that sort of stuff, I recommend this, which is smack bang in the middle, just like the online sales page. And people are going, wow, thank God we're not at the top. And I would have been nice to be at the bottom, but that sounds fair. So it's a really cool little strategy. Happy to give some advice if you guys want to reach out. I do know that we have that type of structure in our online course, the Complete Martial Arts Bootcamp. The Complete Martial Arts Solution. If you're interested in obviously getting these strategies, it's all within our courses.
Guys, look, one final thing just to wrap it up is like the stats and the conversion rates. And I know that this is a sore point for a lot of people. We don't bullshit our numbers, and I know there's a lot of people who don't think that they do, but we count absolutely every single lead that we get. So if we do a campaign and it's a cold call campaign and it's a school fate and we get 100 leads, we'll count them as 100 leads. And there's a lot of people that don't. They just go, oh, it was a fate, so that didn't count. The legit leads are the ones that come through your website and all the rest. We count everything. So when I give you some of the numbers, some of you guys may go, whoa, that's low. But realistically, it's a pretty good turnaround when you've got a good income that you make from it, or again, a return on investment sort of point of view. So when we talk about 80% sign-up rates, a lot of schools are not necessarily at that sort of echelon if they're counting all their numbers. So again, that's your challenge to you guys. Just go back and have a bit of a look. Do you count everything? For us, we find a pretty good conversion rate between 45 to about 55% conversion rate. And you may be just going, wow, that's a little different than the standard of the 80%. Well, when you think about having 100 people come through that lead funnel, but you get a hold of 75% of those guys, 75% of those guys book into your course, you start to find your numbers drop. But hey, that's just about being legit and getting tight and understanding where your drop zones are. So again, team, it's really important for you guys, and I guess the stats is a whole other detailed podcast, because I know that some of you guys want a bit more info on that. I think
just to mention what you're saying is, like a school like our size and a business like what we do, if we were just a smaller school and we were working on just referrals and just a couple of handful of things, then you're going to have a really good conversion rate, because they're really good qualified leads. The way we market, we do Facebook, online, we're doing brand spacing at shopping centres, we go to, our leads are like mammoth. So by the time they come down, of course, they all go, we're still selling and marketing to them all the time. So any lead's a good lead, but they are cold. Some of them are warm, some of them are hot. But that's just the nature of a beast when you do have a beast of a school.
Just to give you an idea, guys, just as we wrap up, we have on any given month here at our big school about 200 inquiries. 200. That is a lot of people wanting to come through. Now, not everyone qualifies, not everyone's the right type of fit, but it kind of gives you an idea of when we count and our numbers and conversions as we go forward. I'll let you guys work out the math behind that 45% conversion rate as we go forward. So again, guys, we've tried to dive in a little deeper on this sales system simply because it's something you need to continually look at and continually revise, not just set, forget. But I know we've got a couple of shout outs to a couple of our sponsors and associates that we love to work with. I'm wearing their shirt today. Okay, the guys from Hyper. Big shout out to Jason and Roland, the guys who put together a brilliant program to add value into your school that is separate to probably your normal martial arts stream. So guys, if you follow the link which we've got on the page here, it's a great way to get in there. There's a discount for being aligned with us. Again, I can't recommend enough because we're actually using it. And we've got, on average, 20 to 25 adults training specifically in this program, and equally the same number of kids for each and every class that we train in. So team, get online, get in there, download, have fun, and also put in the code TIMA, T-I-M-A, and you'll get the discount that's applied there as well.
Cool. And also, just lastly, team, just to wrap up, we speak a little bit about the content that's within our online course. Some people go, you know what, I'd really love to see what's in there, see what the value is. So this year we created a promo code purely just for our podcast listeners called Try 5 for 5, which means you try 5 days of content, 5 days of access for just $5. So all you need to do is go to our website, go to the Complete Martial Arts Solution, and type in the coupon code TRY5, T-R-Y-5, the number 5, and you'll get 5 days of access just for $5. Have a peek under the bonnet and see what's in there.
Great. Well, look, thanks, guys. We look forward to seeing you guys next time. Any questions you have or any suggested podcasts, send them through admin@tima.com.au, and we'll see you soon.